course, what he was teaching went over like a lead balloon. And so they banished him from the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And he himself says that towards the end of 1635 and the beginning of 1636, he had to flee for 3 weeks through huge snowdrifts to get out of the Massachusetts Bay Colony because he had been banished. And if they found him in there, they could throw him in prison or they could even execute him. And so he ended up in Rhode Island, and he established the capital of Rhode Island, which is Providence. That's interesting that he would call that city Providence. And so the founding fathers knew the history of what happens when church and state are united together in Europe. They knew what happened when church and state are joined together in the United States in the colonial period. They also knew their Bibles. In several places they wrote about how they knew that because the Jews allied themselves with the Roman state, that led to the death of Jesus Christ. They knew 3 things. They knew the history of Europe in the Middle Ages, they knew the colonial period, and they knew their Bibles. And they knew that when these 2 kingdoms become one, automatically there is persecution. And so the constitutional fathers, knowing this, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and the Constitution was ratified in 1787, and the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, was ratified in 1791. They said, we're going to have a different system of government in this nation that we're establishing. We are going to have, yes, church and state, but church and state are going to be separated, like Jesus taught. 2 kingdoms in one nation. The same 2 kingdoms that Jesus Christ recognized. And remember that this is taking place immediately before the first beast received its deadly wound. By the way, this idea of the separation of church and state is known as republicanism and Protestantism. You see, during the Middle Ages, what happened is, in civil affairs, the king was the law. You know, whatever the king said in civil matters, that's what was done. In religious matters, whatever the Pope said, that was done. In other words, all of the power flowed from up down. But the constitutional fathers said, we're going to try a revolutionary experiment. We're going to have not the power flow from up down, from the king down to the people, so that they have to jump when he says jump. We're not going to have the power flow from the Pope down where everybody has to subject themselves blindly. No, we're going to have a system of government where the power flows down up. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Where there will be freedom of religion and where there will be also freedom in civil matters. It's interesting to notice Ellen White was born 29 years after the deadly wound. It's interesting to notice how she describes this idea of the founding fathers. In Great Controversy, page 441, she says, among the Christian exiles who first fled to America,